Yeah, what is the biggest number? 20. Smallest number? Okay, so 20 minus 1 plus 1 is what? 20, and then it says 4 intervals. So 20 divided by 4 is what?
5, girl, not 4. Olivia. I'll say
Guys.
I'm correcting 9. I'm sorry, Miss Auntie. You're so loud, Olivia.
Okay, this is number of goals. Okay, so if there's 5 in each one, and our smallest number is what, 1? Okay, so that's me 1 to what? 1 to 5. 6 to 10. 11 to 15. 16 to 20. Yeah. So count on your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then what's the frequency for the first one? 16, yeah. What about the next one? 4. 3. 1. Yeah. All right, any questions on how to do that? Yes. So you would just get that cell wrong. So if this was like 8 points, then you would just get that 1 wrong. Yeah. So it's like graded by like you having the correct thing in each box. Yeah. Okay. So your objective for today is students will be able to make and interpret histograms and dot plots. All right. So this is what a histogram looks like. It's very similar to a bar graph, except for this specifically we use for frequency table data. So a few things to note is that you cannot have any gaps between the bars. That's like a really silly spot to lose points on the quiz in the test, okay? You need to have, so here, these labels right here are going to be your intervals from your frequency table. You need to have this labeled down here. That label is going to change depending on what your problem is. So like on the warm-up, it'd be like number of goals you would label down there. And then this label right here on the side is always going to be frequency. And you're going to go up by like an appropriate scale for like what numbers you have for frequency. Okay? All right, so first example, the data are the numbers of hours per week a group of students spent watching television. Make a histogram that represents the data. So first we have to make a frequency table. So let's figure out how we're going to split this up. So what's the biggest? 22 minus smallest? 0 plus 1 is what? 23. And then how many rows do we have? 23 divided by 4. Okay, so here's an example of one where it's not even. So when you do 23 divided by 4, you get 5.75. So you're always going to round up to the like next whole number up. So you're going to make that 6. And we're just going to end up basically going past our biggest number a little bit, and that's fine. Okay? So what's our smallest again? 0? Okay, so it's going to be 0 to what for 6 numbers? 0 to 5. Then 6 to 11. And 12 to 17, yeah. So guys, as you go down, that's when you're adding that number. Just so you know, a little tip. Like the 6 numbers in each, as you're working right down the table is when you're adding that. So then it'll be 18 to what? 23, yeah. Okay, and then go through and find the frequency. And then we'll check that part. Okay. What do you guys get for the frequency for the first one? 6. Everyone get 6? Yeah, okay. Then what? 5, then? Okay. So see how here ours is labeled at the bottom, frequency is labeled on the side, went up by 2s for the big thing. You don't need a title whenever you make one, but you're going to label down here with your intervals. So this means 0 to 5, 6 to 11, 12 to 17, 18 to 23. And biggest thing, do not put any space between your bars. Charlie, wake up. So first one's at 6. Okay, then 5. 3. And then 1. Just like that. So if you have space between the bars, that is now a bar graph. Okay? That's the difference. Go ahead and move on to the next one when you're ready. Are we ready or not yet? Okay. Are we ready yet or not yet? Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. Okay. What do you guys do is the biggest? 15. Smallest? Okay, so what's that equal? 12, and then you have 4 rows, so 12 divided by 4 is how many? 3. Okay, so starting with what's the smallest? 4? Okay, so 4 to what? 6, 7 to 10 to 13 to 15. Okay, and then what do you guys get for frequency? Let's see. I think it's at the end of the notes. Yeah, 6. 6, then what? 11? Huh? 9? 8, yeah. 8, and then what? 5, yeah. Okay. So 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 15, 5, 6, 11, 8, 5. Okay, any questions on that? No? Okay. So now shapes of histograms and also could be other data representations you can do shapes of, but there's 3 main shapes. There is this one, which is uniform. That is when all of your bars are pretty much like the same height. Okay. On the middle one, symmetric, and that is when if you were to cut it in the middle, that it would be really similar on both sides. Okay, so either the highest in the middle or the lowest in the middle. Okay, and then skewed is when it is higher on one side than the other. Okay. So, for example, 2, what would the first one be? Symmetric, yeah, because it kind of like is like same on both sides. And they're never going to be perfect, so you just have to like do your best. What about the second one? Yeah, this one's skewed. So this one specifically, because I think Math Excel asks, is skewed left. It's the opposite of like what it looks like to you. So think about if you were the graph, would your left side or your right side be higher? Your left side, because if you were the graph, you'd be facing that way, right? So it's always going to be the opposite of which way it looks to you, that it's higher. Okay, so then you guys do those ones. Yeah, okay, so what's the first one? Skewed, what direction? Right. Okay, what about this one? Uniform, yep. All right, next is dot plots. So a dot plot is really similar to a histogram. It has a shape like a histogram. The difference is that you will not have anything on this y-axis, so you won't have like a scale or a label for frequency because frequency is represented by the number of dots that you use. Okay? So, let's do that. So we're making a dot plot of this data. So you're going to put your labels 0 to 5, 6 to 11, 12 to 17, 18 to 23. And you do need to label the bottom still with number of hours. And you want to make sure that when you're doing these dots that you try to like keep the rows going across in line, so that way you can actually see the difference in height, like if you have more dots in one. So for the first one we have 6. So you do 6 dots, then 5. So see, I'm trying to like keep them even going across as much as I can. Then 3, and then 1. So you can also say shapes for these, like this would be skewed. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah? So frequency is the number of dots, not like how high it goes on the scale. Okay? All right, you guys try this one. Just throw my desk. Yeah, thank you. You guys done? Yeah? Okay. So, okay, so you have 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 15. Okay, this one's a lot. This one has 11, it's a lot. So I'm going to do this one first because it's the biggest. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so it should look something like that. And you can do the dots bigger. Also, like if you look down here, it's kind of supposed to look like that, but I just don't want to. And you can also do X's too. I've seen them with X's before. Cool. Okay, so go ahead and do the lesson check real quick. Guys.
She got shot.
Okay. Are you guys done with this?
Yes, I am. My mom's on the 5th of March at 8:30. It's a Saturday.
All right, so I'm gonna put these up. I'm not done with them yet. Like, I'm literally still making them. Alright guys, are we good about this?